Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be telling you about the basic terms related to the chapter of applications of trigonometry. Please ensure that you understand these terms carefully so that it is easy for you to solve the questions related to the chapter. As evident from the name applications of trigonometry, I'll be telling you that where all trigonometry has its practical utility. So trigonometry is one branch of mathematics which is used at various places to solve number of things, be it in architecture, in finding the heights and distances, in astronomy, geology, or in navigation purpose. Let us consider the above figure. In this figure, if a person is standing here, if the person looks up to the top of the Minar C, then the angle that will be formed with the horizontal line and the imaginary line of sight, the line from the eye to the top where the person is looking. Elevation means what? Height. So whenever a person is looking upwards, it is the angle of elevation. In the figure, the line AC drawn from the eye of the student to the top of the Minar is called the line of sight. The student is looking at the top of the Minar, the angle BAC. This angle BAC that will be formed with the line of sight and the horizontal line will be called the angle of elevation of the top of the Minar from the eye of the student. So I hope you've understood the angle of elevation. It is the angle between the line of sight, the imaginary line connecting the point of observation to the point being observed. That is the line of sight, and the horizontal line is this is the horizontal line. So this angle that is formed is called the angle of elevation. So now just observe the above figure. Here the girl is sitting in the balcony and is looking down at the flower pot placed on the stair of the temple. So now when the person is standing up and he's looking down, the down means depression, right? So whenever the person is looking down, the imaginary line formed between the eye of the observer and the point to be observed is called the line of sight. In this case, the line of sight is below the horizontal level. Which is the horizontal level? This is the horizontal level. So this horizontal level, below this is the line of sight. If you remember the previous figure, here the line of sight was above the horizontal level. In the second case, if you see, the line of sight is below the horizontal level. The angle so formed by the line of sight and the horizontal is called the angle of depression. So this is the angle that is being formed. I call this angle as the angle of depression. So I hope the angle of elevation and depression are clear to you. Let me give you the example. So if a girl is standing here, this is the horizontal level. She's looking at the kite. So she's looking up. That means this is the line of sight. This is the horizontal level. This becomes the angle of elevation. Let me show you another example. If the girl is standing on the top and she's looking down at the object. So this is the horizontal level, the eye level, and she's looking down. So the angle between the horizontal and the line of sight is the angle of depression. Thus, the line of the sight is the line drawn from the eye of the observer to the point in the object viewed by the observer. So this is the line of sight. This is the line of sight, right? The angle of elevation of the point viewed is the angle formed by the line of sight with the horizontal, and the point being viewed is above the horizontal level. So whenever the point being viewed is above the horizontal level, the angle formed by the line of sight and the horizontal level, that angle is called the angle of elevation. Let us come to the angle of depression. The angle of depression of a point on the object being viewed is the angle formed by the line of sight with the horizontal when the point is below the horizontal level. So whenever the point is below the horizontal level, the angle formed by the horizontal level and the line of sight is the angle of depression, right? Let us see some examples of angle of elevation. Person standing here, top being observed, the angle formed by the horizontal level and the line of sight is the angle of elevation. Second example, the person standing here, eye level is here, height, this portion is being observed. So the angle that is going to be formed is going to be the angle of elevation. If I take that from this point, the top of the tower is being observed, then this is the line of sight, this is the horizontal level, so this becomes the angle of elevation. Let us take up some examples of angle of depression. Girl standing here, she's observing another girl standing down below. So this is the angle of depression. But now if this girl standing down is observing the girl at a height, then the line of sight is now above this horizontal line. So this becomes the angle of elevation, whereas this becomes the angle of depression. Both the horizontals are parallel, so angle of depression and angle of elevation are numerically same. The bird is observing this rat. So this is the line of sight. This is the horizontal level. So this becomes angle of depression. This is what? This is the lighthouse. This is the horizontal line. This is the line of sight, the boat. Then that means this becomes the angle of depression. Person from the lighthouse is observing the boat down here. Now let me explain this thing to you with the GeoGebra applet. This is something very good which I wanted you all to understand. Now a person is standing here and a lift is at the ground level, right? Now when this lift is going up, you see the lift is going up, the elevator is going up, the person is looking at the person inside the lift. This person standing down below, this is the horizontal level. He's looking at the person in the lift. So when he's looking upwards, the angle formed is the angle of elevation. Let us see if he goes down. The lift comes down and the angle of elevation is reducing now. This comes at the horizontal level. Now when it starts going down, the person needs to look down at the person. The angle that is being formed is the angle of depression. You can see this angle. So this is the angle of depression that is being formed, right? Now let us consider the reverse case when the person inside the elevator is looking at the person standing here. So then that means the person is, this becomes the horizontal level of the observer. This is the observer now, and this is the point being observed. So this is the horizontal line, and the person is being looked at upwards. So that means this becomes angle of elevation. If I now move this, you see here the angle of elevation is now reducing. And when this comes here at the horizontal level, it becomes 0. Now this is the person who's observing, and this is the person being observed. That means now when he's going to go up, the person will need to look down. So which will be the angle of depression? So now when the person is going up, you can see that which is the angle of depression. This person inside the lift is looking at the person standing here. So he's looking down. This becomes a line of sight. And this is the horizontal level. So the angle of depression is being formed here. And as the person is going up, you can see that the angle of depression is increasing, right? Let us take the third case. Now, when this person, now I take, this is the observer and this is, he is being observed. If I take both the cases, if he is moving towards the point being observed, you can see that the angle of elevation is increasing. And if he is moving away from the person, the angle of elevation is reducing. Exactly same way, when a person standing here, if the distance of the person, the observer and the observed is reducing, you see, if it is reducing, then the angle of elevation and depression both will increase. But if the distance between the observer and the observed is increasing, the angle of elevation and depression both are reducing. I hope you have understood that how angle of depression and elevation varies when the observer or the observed are moving. So watch the video again in case you have any doubt. Thank you so much.